Okay, versatile vigilante, young Vince, Uncle Vinny in here with a banger, man. We got a real legend in the building.
What's up,
Masked
Vinny?
Bandit, Takeo.
Yeah, one of them.
TAKEOTENN, man.
Yes,
cheers to you, my guy.
Go over here.
Have fun drinking that. Man, for versatile vigilante viewers, before we get into Takeo's story, man, been lining this up for a couple years now. Very excited to get this going, bro.
Yeah, you know, the pandemic kind of hit us for a minute, hit pause, but we're back. We're actually doing it. That's good. I wanted to come. I wanted to come fucking interview. That's great.
Appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you coming out. How you been living, man? What's new?
Well, just getting back in the swing of things. You know, it's summer. It was summer, so doing some murals, getting my stuff back running when it comes to like the merch or the sweaters, and also just like getting back into painting in all sorts. So it's been dope. Yeah, everything's been gravy right now.
I see you killing it, bro. And speaking of painting, you brought an absolute banger to the office today.
This is for the wall. This is for you.
Thank you so much, bro. Look at this. If you know who Takeo is, you know there's a very famous character. Is this one of one?
This is one of one. That's a hand painted.
For the vigilante wall, bro. Thank you so
man,
much.
For you.
I love this. I'm going to put this here. Hopefully the camera could see that the whole interview. That would be fucking sick. Tell me about this, man, because you have an interesting story about doing this painting too, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, like, this character, I started doing him back in, like, 2018, 2019 kind of area, and it's like a graffiti one-liner. So it goes over his eyes and then his nose and his back over. So it has these graffiti roots and elements, and then also like the cartoons kind of I grew up with. A lot of people grew up with that kind of nod to the old school,
right,
but now updated, right? Kind of with the edge of being an adult. So that kind of grimy graffiti adult character stuff is kind of what I'm after. Love
it, bro. And for anyone watching, one of my favorite artists in the city, easily. When I first saw your work, I felt that. I'm like, it's a pretty innocent looking cartoon, but it's like on a downtown wall.
A lot of people will say it looks like they recognize it. I had one girl say, "Is that Felix the Hedgehog?" Which is just like, it's this mashup of these characters that we grew up with, right? So it works. It's like, no, it's its own thing, but it has that nod to it specifically. So yeah,
I love it, bro, and thank you again for this. And we're gonna post your links on this video for sure.
No, man, I appreciate it.
I definitely want to go back to a little bit of how you came up. Talk a little bit, and we spoke before the podcast, but for the gang here, talk a little bit about where you grew up, kind of how you got into what you're doing now.
Well, I've been doing art my whole life. Grew up in military brat, so all the way East Coast. Every 4 years I moved, but always like suburb stuff.
Right.
Never, like, I always appreciated graffiti, like when I saw it, but I never had like the real right environment to do it. So when I moved to Toronto back in like 2013, it was like, okay, now I got a playground. Now I can see these other artists firsthand, you know, not on the internet or whatever. Like even back then, YouTube was like still pixelated, and you knew these writers like Art Child, Scam, Kane, all these H. Bacon, all these guys that you'd see on the internet, but you never was a high quality image or anything like that, or just seeing it up close and being around it every day. Like even, oh man, there's just so many artists in Toronto that I loved, and you know, being able to come to the city and start finding these little pockets, or you know, just seeing these pieces up close, like big burners up close, or meeting them eventually, like that kind of shit you just can't even, you know, put into words, because it really is kind of what the end goal is, and being able to put your mark on the city. That's really kind of what I was going for always, is to creep into your subliminal. Even if you don't know, you've seen it or whatever, and that's always been kind of one of my goals, is just be part of that environment.
I feel you, because it's really it's a scene. It's a very specific type of scene.
It's totally a scene, and like I can look at movies and tell you where it's filmed, even though they tell you it's New York. It's like, oh no, I know that's Montreal because I can see who's in that city. I can see who's on the post.
Right.
I can tell it's in Toronto. A lot of shit's filmed in Toronto. Like, and then I know I can see these other writers that are local. Then I go, oh, okay, that's filmed in Toronto right away. Or it's filmed in New York, or it's filmed in LA. You know, sometimes they try and get around that, but as a writer, you know that, because it is niche enough.
100%. Yeah. 100%. And I feel like doing this type of street art, you learn the city so well, man. You go into these different crevices, different areas. I think it's a great way to learn where you are.
Yeah, it's like, it's essentially, that's why urban exploring and graffiti go hand in hand, because it really is that. And like, I'm not going to pretend to be the craziest graffiti writer in the world. There's a lot of guys that really go hard in this city too. They go ham all the time. But like, I really appreciate being involved in it and seeing that, and you do get to explore. And I do notice that thing. I see the city differently now.
Right.
Where you know, you used to look at the front of signs or billboards, and now I'm looking at the back of them because I want to see who's up or who's tagging something, or the back of a box, or I don't even notice ads anymore. I'm looking at who's tagging like the corner or who's tagging this or whatever. Like, it really is funny. You do immerse yourself in it.
For sure. You see it from a different perspective now. Absolutely. You touched on a good point there where you said you kind of grew up in the suburbs. You never really were doing the street stuff. Was this something you always knew you were going to do? Yeah, well, I always liked it. It always had this cool appeal. It always was this bright. And it had this kind of like cryptic language that you didn't really know. Initially, I didn't know how to read that stuff, right? And by getting involved in it more and having the ability to, it was awesome. Like, you started to learn kind of firsthand what that was. And yeah, I always did want to get involved. And so when I moved to the city, it was like, okay, here's my opportunity. I met a homie of mine, Zeus One, from Toronto originally, took off, went to Japan, came back, and I met him up in Barrie when I was actually taking a fine arts course. Okay. And we became homies, and he really fast-tracked me on graffiti. Like, he's like, no, your one name was, I was writing Strike or something before. He's like, no, that's shit. You know, like, write something shorter and write something, you know, like with these letters and, you know, do a one line. Like, he really fast tracked me. And that's how graffiti really is. Like, it was passed down city, generation to generation and city to city. Right. Now with the internet, it's really opened up. So like, you'll get people in New Zealand writing like writers in LA or writing like people from New York, when really it's like, it was the neighborhood. That's why Philly's so strong on their stuff still. It's like, it really is a representation of their city. It's still Philly style. But you can still take influences from wherever, but, and you can't not, right? Yeah. But graffiti was taught like word of mouth, like by generation to generation. And so I was lucky enough to have that kind of, and fast track that. And I already had art kind of background. I already knew kind of things, but bro, it still took me 10 years to even get a semblance of like good in graffiti, and I'm still learning every day. There's still people that are way more accomplished on their pieces and all that stuff, like, for sure. And there's people that are bombing so hard that I love in the city, like Keel or Sarah or any of these guys. Like, they just crush it. And but I appreciate all that stuff, right? I love that, and I see that, and I wanted to participate in that so that I could bring it back to my canvas work in a true sense. I didn't want to be like one of these people that found the fucking spray paint aisle, you know, and we're like, oh, I'm going to start doing it on my canvases, but not understanding what a one-liner is, what any of this stuff is. So, like, that to me is important. I wanted to do it justice. So, yeah. You wanted to really immerse yourself in the culture. Yeah, and learn it 100% before I start taking it anywhere else and do it proper justice, for sure. That's admirable, man, because you're seeing it from the... There we go. Drink time. Shout out Westbound P. Legend. Stole this move from Westbound. Cheers. What's up? Real Thanks legend. For that move. Hell yeah. Gang shit. Vigilante gang. I love that, though, because you know what you were talking about right now? It reminded me of kind of like how I feel musicians would talk about music. Like, I have inspiration from different cities, and I want to respect the city and the style. You can't not in a creative, even if it's chef or film or any of that stuff. But you have to kind of pay respects to it or do a nod to it and make it your own. Always make it your own by repetition, by graffiti, black booking, or putting in the work. But don't feel bad about being inspired by somebody. Of course you're going to be inspired. That's what it is. Exactly. And especially with music or with anything like that. You're going to see that. And with the internet, it's opened up a lot more. But graffiti was funny because now you are getting people from overseas writing like people from different neighborhoods or different cities, which would never have happened before. Crazy, right? Because it really, in the end of it, it really is a representation of your community, graffiti. It is. You see kind of these people that are marking their territories, and everyone's influencing their own styles, right?
Montreal is really good. Even Toronto, they have this like particular style that you can see, especially like the LSD Cats or any of those guys. It's just yeah, and every city has these pockets that are great.
Yes, I've noticed that, and I actually first heard of you from that Wallnoize project.
Yeah,
at the beaches.
That's my homie Cruz one.
Shout out Cruz one.
He puts that on. Big cat, big dude. He put me in GFC, which is my clique now.
Okay.
And sick. Yeah, he's dope.
I love that, man, because up to that point, I thought graffiti was always damn near like, oh, it's illegal. Like, we're doing this illegally.
Toronto always had this like major hate on graffiti, especially when Doug was in power, right? Or no, Rob. Sorry, I fucked that up. His brother.
Right.
But Rob had this, besides smoking crack, he had this fucking hate on, like, graffiti for some reason, to the point where he couldn't get a hold of it. He would start charging the buildings, like, owners, if they didn't clean it up.
Really?
And, like, there was this very, like, don't fuck with graffiti at all. And now, you know, things have moved forward, and Street Art Toronto is now paying these artists to do these huge murals, which is fantastic, right? Because now not only are we cultivating our own community of artists and giving them experience, we're attracting international artists, we're giving them the ability to build their portfolios, and people are getting work from it, and like that's dope. I know their whole tactic about it. It's great. Would I call that graffiti? And no. I mean, a spray can doesn't make it graffiti. Graffiti is the ability to go up and do something with your hands, you know, with just a can, with that tool.
Right.
Street art, like Banksy. Banksy's not a graffiti artist, right? He's a street artist. The guy can sit in his, you know, studio for 6 months, plan this out. Amazing artist, talented artist. But graffiti artist, he probably could do it, but what he's doing is street art.
Right.
Right? There's a difference between guys that can go with a couple cans and do a whole burner with no tools, right? Other than their body and their fucking hand styles and their cans. You know, so there is a difference between that.
Very interesting, and that's a lesson for me, man, because I put it all under one kind of subculture.
Yeah.
And that's so interesting to hear. No, it's different things.
Yeah, so when you do your legal wall, I mean, essentially that's street art.
Right.
And that's a friendlier PC version of the same kind of thing, but it's like with street art, it's like, you know, a picture of a pony riding a unicorn over whatever, or like something political like Banksy. Sure. Graffiti is letters and characters, but letters is the basis of graffiti, and hand styles. Not working on a whole stencil for 20 days in your place and then going up with a team of people and spraying it. That's street art. That's cool because you're taking public space. Like, I get that. That's why I like it.
Yeah.
But the ability to just grab a fucking marker and go do something, or grab an etcher and go do something, that's graffiti. That's what the essence of graffiti is to me. Got you.
I feel like that has a bit of that like rebellion, like kind of underground spirit to it. Like,
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It really it does, definitely. I mean, that's probably what attracted it to me in the first place. Is I was always the fucking loud kid in school, or the, you know, little jokester, prankster, whatever the fuck it was. But yeah, as soon as someone tells me not to do something in the back of my head, you know, you think, okay, fuck that, I'm gonna do it. And that's what the appeal is to it, right? And that's why it's so popular now, even with fucking galleries, is that it has that edge that people are looking for. It has this kind of underground thing that's niche and community. Yeah, that people want to know. They want to be involved in that. Yes. And the only way you're going to do it is by getting, you know, involved in that community and putting in the work. Like, you still have to put in the work. Like, 10 years plus, keep going, right? And black book the fuck out of everything. Like, you know, just burn through pages, just keep working on your hand style, and it'll constantly evolve. I'm still evolving. Right. Right? Everyone's going to keep learning and going, right?
Absolutely. And before you came to Toronto, had you done anything on any public areas, or was it all canvases and your own drawings?
Before, it was mostly like canvas work and stuff. I did a lot of abstract work. I did a lot of illustrative work, which is like my canvases that have like the robots on them. Yes. From Miller Original Art, right? That's my fine art stuff, and that's a lot more friendly to the general population or the viewer. That's more fine art, and I love that stuff still. Like those colors are still, and I do a lot of palette knife work. And graffiti is just a different part of what I wanted to do and get involved in, but learn firsthand, like I was saying, and do it justice. Because my goal was always to try and bring it back to my canvas work, right? But do it properly. Don't do it like, you know, some part-time.
Yeah.
Fucking, they found the graffiti aisle.
Master the craft.
Yeah, try at least do it some justice, right?
100%.
Yeah.
So, starting off with the more graffiti stuff, like outside, how do you practice, bro? Like, you just run around to empty walls, or what the fuck's the deal with that?
So, like we were saying before, you start seeing the city in different spots. You start seeing lines of sight.
Right.
You start seeing when you're driving, okay, that building's high, that's got a spot, whatever it is, and then about going out and doing it, right? And I definitely have, like, spurts of activity where I'll go hard for a bit and then I'll take a break, or life gets in the way, or whatever it is. There are people out here that are super consistent and killing it all the times. But if I'm honest, I always got a tool on me. I always got some fucking marker or some mop or something, you know, or some can. Yeah, because it's usually like fuckery when you're out and about, or you're half drunk. You're like, it's a good spot. I'll fucking get that.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, I still have respect for, you know, I don't get up on fucking cars or churches or like someone's personal property like that. Like, I try and get in where I fit in like that. And I don't diss writers just for the sake of dissing writers. Like, I really want to just kind of fucking get up. Unless someone's fucking starts crossing me, which has happened. But, like, you know, usually that's kind of the name of the game. You can't even be fucking upset about it. You just got to keep going and stay consistent, right?
Right.
And kind of like a fucking dog, keep marking your territory. Which made me laugh because my dog was doing the same thing. Like, I would go out for a walk with her, and she'd be pulling her leash, being like, no, here. And she'd go fucking mark her spot. And then 2 minutes later, I'd be down the road trying to fucking tag a pole or something. And I was just like, fuck, the parallels are exact. Like, I'm so surprised.
Universe is aligned.
We're exactly that.
I love that, man. That's so funny. You mentioned something interesting where people will, like, whack your shit out. That's a thing? Like, there's
man. Some people get off on that. Like, it's usually, actually, to be honest, it's only one dude, whatever. Shall remain nameless. Not going to give him any fucking, you know, airtime on that.
No
but it's
clout.
like, some people, there's a thing, if you ever watched, like that original, what the fuck is the name of it? It's a great documentary. Star Wars. Like, Homie Zeus threw me on that.
Okay.
And it's documenting the graffiti scene in New York during like the late 80s, kind of when it was like the subway scene and all that, like the golden era, right? And even for the graffiti world around the world, like that was like the golden era, whereas people could go all city by hitting a whole train line. But there was this one dude called Cap on there, and his whole MO was just going around and fucking painting over someone's work that took them hours, but doing it really fast. Like, I'm not going to lie, there is a style to that. There is a style to doing it correctly, but I don't get off on just, like, fucking lining people for kicks or vandalism for kicks. Like, go kick a fucking window in for kicks. Like, that's not interesting enough to me, and also, I want my shit to ride. So when I put something up, hopefully it lasts longer, unless the city comes and buffs it or whatever, but I don't want to be pissing off the community so that every time they fucking see my name, they're crossing it out.
Real
right?
shit.
I just still want to kind of do my thing and, you know, keep it up. So that's kind of the MO. So, listen, it's all different personalities in this game.
Yeah.
And that's just how it's going to be with everything, right? So it is what it is. That's just not me.
Yeah. No, I relate to that, man, because that's one of the things that I really like about your work. You know, one of the first ones that I saw was near the parking lot on Queen and Augusta, that green pea lot. You have a big-ass one there.
That one character, like the fucking A?
Exactly.
Yeah, and so that's like a lowercase A with teeth.
It looks so good, though, and I'm like, man, this is, like, fire. Like, it's nice to look at. You know?
Well, yeah, fuck, I appreciate that, because I always try and do, like, these bold lines. I always try and do, like, nice, consistent lines that are the same distance apart until they taper off. And, like, what happens is, from a distance, that's super vibrant, and that sticks out, and it's bold. And if it's done correctly, it does its job.
Yeah, it adds to the neighborhood.
Yeah, I hope so. Like, you know.
100%.
Because it's like, fuck, back in college, like I was going to take graphic design because everyone's like, oh, you're not going to fucking make money at art, especially all my uncles and aunts and parents. Like, you're not going to make money at art, you know, you're not going to make money at art. It's like such a slim margin. And so like in college, I'm like, okay, well then I'll go take graphic design. Because then even if I get to design billboards or something, I'm influencing the community or the world just with my style, my art. And that's what really appealed to me with graffiti too, was that, oh shit, like I can go take spaces.
Yeah.
And then came the whole learning curve of scale. So drawing something like this to something that's like 20 feet across or like 10 feet high, it's a totally different skill set. And like your can control and shit. But like, that's the fun of it, is that now I'm reaching an audience, or I'm imposing my will on this audience, that it's going to hopefully make a mark on them, right?
Yeah.
And apparently it's worked, kind of.
It does, man. Cause you mentioned the term urban. What was urban adventure?
Oh, urban explorer.
Urban explorer. That to me seems, that's like me, bro. Like I love to wander around, especially cities. Shout out Westbound.
Westbound P, super chill. Watch that.
100%. Definitely cut from a similar cloth with that.
Yeah.
And when I see shit like that, to me, it's like being in the forest, bro. Like beautiful scenery.
How beautiful is that? So it's like someone, it's kind of like a nod. It's like someone's been there before you.
Yeah.
Or how the fuck did they get up there? There's a lot of fucking magic in this like whole thing, or like cool bits of it that's like people want to know, or how did they do it, or oh shit, someone's been here before. And that happens with writers, that happens with the general public, it happens with everyone, right? And that's pretty cool.
It's very cool. And you know, like you said earlier too, with like passing shit down from generation to like, yo, that's doing it too. Well,
that's happened to me a few times too, where like I'm fucking older for sure, and a couple younger writers have come up to me and just been like, oh, you know, like I followed your shit for so long, or like you come a long way. And that kind of hit me where I was like, whoa, like I really like their work, or I see what they're doing, or I see how hard they're going. And it's like, I never thought about that at the time. Is exactly what I was saying. It's like you're influencing that community, or you're hopefully making the next generation and inspiring them to do their own thing, but with your inspiration or your tweak. And so they go and put their own stamp on it. That's really all I can ever ask for, is that it makes a mark and they go fucking hard on their, and who knows where they're going to go.
Exactly.
Right?
Very well said. And, you know, like music's an important part of a city. Films are an important part of the city, but the street art is a huge part of a city too, bro. Yeah. It's all hand in hand.
It really is all hand in hand. And like,
culture.
We all know since Drake really blew this shit up, like the city especially, there has been talent, and there is all this talent in the city. And what I always kind of liked about him and his lyrics, and everyone that he's kind of like fucked with and talked about, is like, it's been the truth. It's been raw. It's been like Weston Road and all these things that are Canadian shoutouts or Toronto shoutouts. And then not only that, like giving all these other artists in the community a chance. So whether it is music, which has blown up in this city, it's now film, which we all know is huge. This is Hollywood North, right? This film industry is up here, and it's going to continue to be up here. And then the food scene and all these things, it's now the eyes are turning onto the city internationally, and like we're getting chances, and we're getting more business out of it. And so that's huge. You can't deny that hasn't happened in like the last 10 years or so, whatever it's been, and it's been amazing. Probably longer
since you came to the city, bro.
Not me, bro. Not fucking me. I'm just a part of it, man. And that's what I wanted to be, right? And wherever it takes me is what I want it to be, and obviously being part of that community and everything that comes with it.
No, 100%, bro. Relatable. I fuck with it. I
love hearing that.
Yeah, I love showing love to the city and the people that make it so great. You know?
Yeah.
100%. It's not the politicians that do it. It's not
those fucking guys
that does it. It's the people that are doing it it, you know.
And like I always like, even like you know, Matty Matheson, you know, of course. So legend. Like what always kind of made me laugh about him, or why I think he's really become, and actually any artist in any capacity, when they're not afraid to speak the truth and to be so fucking real with their experiences, what happens is it hits home with the audience. It hits home with other people, you know, and it becomes relatable, and it becomes like, that's art. Like that's really art.
Yeah.
Is when you're unafraid to be vocal about your experience. And what happens is because it's so raw and real, it becomes a shared thing, and people relate to that. Oh, fuck, I do that in my life, or that's exactly what happened to me, or I know somebody like that, and it rings truer, and it's just more real. So
100%. People love honesty when if that's what they're looking for.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure. It's all well and good to
100%.
fucking talk about elves, and that's cool, but I think even still, they're taking from real life.
Yeah.
And that type of shit, you know, it will always kind of ring true. And that's... If you can represent what's going on in your life and what's going on in the time right now, that's what every other artist in time has ever done.
Real shit.
Right?
If you feel something from this, awesome.
Yeah, and but all you can do is represent what's going on. Right? All you can do is talk about what's going on with you.
Yep.
Right? What's happening in your fucking world as you know it right now.
It's such a good point, man, because we're fucking surrounded by a lot of outside shit. Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, it's like, am I dealing with this right now? No, I'm dealing with this. Like, I'm out here. Let's relate to this.
I think this pandemic's really taught a lot of people because we all knew, like, whatever, this fucking kind of hit us in the face. There was a lot of turmoil where people were, you know, so polar opposites on every little thing.
Yeah,
there was a lot of like infighting, even in families.
Nothing but beef,
there was a lot of fucking confusion and question and terror and fear, and like even when this shit happened, like the lockdowns happened, it was like the narrative on the news was changing every fucking 3 minutes and 4 minutes. And I think kind of what's happening is people are starting to question media more, which I've always done. I always like listening to like 20 stories and then coming up with my own fucking... Because, you know, we can't deny that the news is a business now. All this shit is a business. Like, I saw the CNN had a fucking death toll counter on the thing, on their and I'm like, what fucking garbage is this? Like, that's so extra. It's clearly fear-mongering, all these things. And so, hopefully, people are becoming more aware. And I think that's kind of what's happening. And also now, it's like 2022 now. And I'm feeling this relaxation, especially with people... And even in my own family, you know, where they're getting back to their old ways and what's important to them.
Yeah.
And being relatable and, you know, just being themselves more. I think that's huge.
It is, man, because living that way of living in fear and all that CNN bullshit, it's tiring, bro. It's not good for you. It's not
taxing
healthy.
as fuck. Yeah, you can't do it. I eventually I was just like turning off. I would get a fucking update, but I wasn't going to be glued to it. Because it just doesn't serve you.
It's trash, man. And you know what's funny? You know what kind of really turned me off of it? Guys in studios are telling us about what's happening outside. You're never outside. Yeah. You're never outside.
Well, there was a time where it was illegal to be fucking outside.
Yeah.
And like, again, it was just like whatever the concerns were. And there's no doubt it was authentic. It's real, sure. I get that. You know, okay, what was the term that they had coined? It was like... social distancing, which was like immediately it's like anybody that's not your friend, anybody that you don't know is the enemy with that term. And it was like
literally enemy.
If a fucking old lady hit the dirt on the crosswalk,
don't help her.
I couldn't pick her up because I'd kill her. Right? It was just so weird. It was just such a weird time. And I really feel like we are coming back from that
for sure.
In kind of a renewed kind of look at things. So I'm excited for that and I'm feeling it.
I am too, man, and that's why your story is important because that's real life story. It's not media infiltrated. It's not.
No,
it's real life. Like I don't have
any commercial interests in the back telling me what to do or what to say. Like this is really my experience. Like what's kind of going on with me, and hopefully what's going on in my community, right? And that's really kind of this shared thing that we're all in.
Agreed, bro. I love that. Doing art on the street, doing graffiti on the street, does that ever get dangerous for you?
Listen, when I first started out, I was definitely younger. I was like 25, you know, which is late in this game.
Right.
I've had moments where, you know, you get stupid or you drink to take the edge off or whatever, and like, yeah, no, it's, yeah, you know what? You just got to be fucking smart about it. And there's a lot of writers that are like north of 40 that they're doing it and they're being a ninja about it.
Right.
And they're being smart about it. And there's a lot of people that are just straight fuckery and doing it. And eventually they'll get caught. And once you get caught, you start getting serious about it. Because it is under your skin at that point, and you kind of want to keep doing it, right? You got to have that creative outlet some way. And a lot of people, that's like their only creative outlet. Like they don't have the tools or the options or the knowledge to do any other type of art, but this is what they've started to do. And to me, it's a legitimate thing. Like, to me, it's absolutely legitimate art form. That's like anything like tattooing or music. Like you have to put the work in to do it justice and acknowledge the people that came before you and learn that stuff. And then like hopefully master that and then put your spin on it, you know?
Yes.
So like that's major. Is just keep putting in work and keep fucking going.
It's fucking hilarious, bro, because everyone I talk to, they could be in any different field, that it always comes back to that.
Yeah, it's honestly going. Yeah, it's really the process. And then like I was watching something, it's like some fucking podcast. I think it was like the Barbershop or something with like Drew Barrymore and Idris Elba and like somebody else and fucking Irving, and like they're all talking about their own respective fields, and they're like, even LeBron James, like, you know, he'll win stuff or he'll do it, but really what he's good at and what he loves is the process, which is working out, being with the team, all that stuff. And even fucking Drew Barrymore was like, oh my God, the process, that's what it is. It's like, it really is. It's that journey. It's that whole thing. It's like, yeah, you're going to have highs, you're going to have lows, you're going to have all this in between shit, but like really the whole distance of that fucking thing is kind of what it's about. So and enjoying that while you're in it.
It's so true, man. It's very important for people to learn that, I think, and you got to learn that at your own pace too.
Yeah, it takes time.
Takes time.
And you're gonna fucking burn yourself, or you're gonna have something fucking magical fall out of the sky and land on your lap, and that's great.
Yeah.
But always kind of stay, hopefully true to yourself, because people will get claws in you, you know. But just keep fucking going. Really, in the end. Keep going.
Keep going. You never know.
Yeah, like, sometimes I gotta take my own fucking advice, because, like, I will, you know, take a break or not be into it at the time or be uninspired or life will get in the way. And I really, truly am happier when I start getting back into my work and start creating and putting my stamp on shit.
It's real, bro. I think a lot of people go through that, too. I go through that for sure. And I think you have to sometimes, right? Like, that's
what fucking feelings are for. Yeah. All these... I love how people, it's like the first thing to do is fucking drug them up. Because it really is. It's like, oh, my dog died. Oh, okay, well, let's just get you addicted to this fucking drug so you're good to go to work that day. It's like, no, like, feel that shit for a minute. You know, feel that shit. But then, like, start moving forward, taking those steps. But these emotions and these fucking things or spikes or anxiety, these are real things to help you in life.
Yes.
And so you have to fucking feel them to some degree.
It's so true, bro. I recently had a situation where it's just very, like, stressful situation. And it worked out. And it worked out fine, but it was very stressful. And after it was over, I was like, man, I'm very happy that happened because I learned so much from it. Like, I fucking did it. I went through it. It was very tough, but I feel stronger already, you know?
You should. And sometimes people don't realize that.
Yeah.
But it's not to fucking take away from that. It was stressful and it was high, but like that's a moment in time.
Exactly.
That it will make you stronger and better in the future. Hopefully. You know,
100%.
I think it will. There's no hopefully about it. It'll put a mark on you. Yeah.
You feel it. You think of your first couple times doing your work on the walls compared to now, bro. You fucking way better. Fuck,
I even look 2 years back because, like I said, like get in your black book or your sketch pad, whatever you're doing. Just kind of keep doing your hand styles, keep doing your throw ups, your characters, all these things. And like I look even 2 years, 5 years ago. When I thought I was pretty hot shit, and I'm like, fuck, bro, like there's some fucking things that need work there.
Right.
And that's really what it is. It's like you just keep going. So
it's beautiful, man.
It is beautiful, right?
Yeah, 100%. It really is.
It's got to be the same with you and your stuff, like
100%, bro. When I messaged you for the first time, I didn't have this space.
Right.
I had been way like less advanced, you know. And I look back on those times. It was a beautiful time.
Yeah,
and it's like fuck, man. You're starting to go.
There is that fucking like that like you're just so excited.
Yeah,
you're ready to go. You really are kind of naive because you're doing it. But honestly, that's what it takes is to take that first step. And that second step, and then you start building, you go, okay, fuck, I need that. There's a lot of people that'll come up with excuses like, I need this, or I need that, or I need this, to even take a step and really just fucking take one. And see where it goes. Because whatever worked for someone else or whatever their advice was might not work for you. And it's sure as fuck not your path. Your path is exactly what you're going to do and take down and experience. So, like, every other fucking job that I've ever taken, I always take something from it. Whether it was shit or it was fucking cool or whatever, I've always taken something from that and applied it in my life in the future.
Very wise words from
I feel like old Uncle Takeo here right now.
Uncle Takeo is spitting some fucking knowledge, though,
I got
bro.
plaid wrapped seats in my truck.
Man, shout out to Uncle Takeo, bro.
Yeah.
You're saying real shit, though.
Yeah.
Very real shit, because it's something where everyone that's made it a far way will feel you on that. They're like, yeah, you're 100% right. Like,
it really is.
Go.
Yeah. If no one can knock you fucking putting in effort and trying your fucking best, even if you're shit at the moment, which, hey, if you're starting out, guaranteed you are.
Yes.
Okay? That's what it is. But the fact that you show an interest in it and the fact that you have passion for it and the fact that you're going to fucking hopefully not give up and keep fucking going and take all those highs and lows, man, you're going to become what you're going to become. And that's what it's about. Yeah. Hopefully,
Absolutely,
yeah, man, that's what it's about.
Absolutely.
That's why I want, man, I never get why people are jealous of other people or their success or their, especially in the art world or like any creative thing. It's because no one can do what you do like you do. If you're fucking, you know, like, they can be influenced or they can bite your shit, or even in the art world, they can fucking take your shit. But, like, if you're good at what you do, it's a well. It's an endless, so you can tap into that and keep going and keep going. But, like, what will stop you is yourself if you don't, like, continue to fucking go.
You could have this shit if you want it. Fucking take it. I'll do it. I'll do it even better. I'll make something
I've said that.
better.
I've said that.
Hell yeah, man. I love that attitude.
Because it's true, man. It's endless when it comes to this. And tap
endless.
In. Yeah.
Fuck it.
Keep going, man.
Yeah. Take it, bro.
You can try and bite as hard as you can, but you might get that little chunk. But I got a whole fucking field to go running, and I'm going to keep going.
Real shit.
And I'm going to keep fucking producing these next things because, like, the world's still happening around you, and I'm going to take all those influences and turn them to the next one that's pertinent right now, and the one that's business right now.
So you know what you've gone through, you know what you're capable of,
and I know what's happening, right? Nice. And if I can comment on that, then people are going to go, "Oh fuck, that's that's new, that's this, that's that," like fuck, that makes sense.
Real as fuck, bro. That was an amazing monologue there, man. I love that shit. That's inspiration for me, and I think for people to watch that too, bro. It's like, nah, fuck it. Let's keep going. Who gives a fuck?
Man, that's, I feel you on that one.
Cheers.
I'm going to drink to that one.
Cheers to that, man. Absolutely.
Refill.
Yeah. Real shit. I was doing a little Instagram creep on your profile.
Sure.
And I saw that you posted a picture when you were a kid with all the walls in your house all fucking written on.
Oh, that's the Miller one, yeah.
Bro.
My mom took that one.
Legendary.
With the blonde curly hair. And like a fucking, I think, snow pants, no shirt.
Yeah, no shirt on.
Yeah. And like I had taken a marker and just fucked up the wall. Because I was bored. I don't know what it was. I was like fucking 4.
You're foreshadowing, bro.
Yeah, totally. I know. I look at that now and I'm like, man, he doesn't even know.
That's crazy,
And my mom caught me, and instead of like blowing up about it, because she's an artist too. She was an art teacher for her high school, and she's always like had that involved in my life and always taught me everything, like really everything, and always provided opportunities for me too. And she took a photo of me in the middle of like my little first crime. And it's so funny. Like, yeah, it's total like peek into like who I am, who I'm going to be.
That's a legendary photo.
I know. I think I'm going to put that on a fucking shirt one day.
100%.
With the eyes blocked out.
That's for real, bro. That would be like a Supreme shirt or something.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, if they're lucky.
If they're lucky, man. If they're lucky, absolutely. Do they, you mentioned earlier in the interview where like some, family friends kind of hesitant about your career path. How is that now for them?
I think they're like coming to terms with like, hey, this is still what he's going to do.
Yeah.
And hey, don't get it twisted. Like I still got that side gig and I still have the other stuff that I have to go do to like make ends meet. Like it's not made for me by any means, where I would love to do that, and hopefully I get there, but I know it'll come hopefully at the right time. And again, it's like just keep moving forward. But yeah, they, you know, like I said, I got fucking support like that, and I always got like interest, and they want to talk about it and stuff. Like that's cool. You know, is it a career yet? No. Do I know I'm good at what I do? Yeah, I think I'm really good at like my shit, and I've honed my skills with that. Even my fine art stuff, like I really love it. It always looks different in person than it does kind of, you know, over the internet.
Yeah,
I'm amazing, a shitty marketer in terms of like being able to figure out what the algorithm is on fucking Instagram. Used to be more of a tool. Now I just feel it's like you got to pay to play with that shit. You definitely do.
It's a bit of a task.
It totally is. Like, to me, that's not my skill set. Like, I'm not a fucking lawyer. I'm not a fucking doctor. I'm not a, like, I know what's good at brand, and I know what my voice is. But in terms of like getting it out there appropriately, or because I've always said it's like more eyes on my work.
Yeah.
There's going to be somebody that it clicks with, and I think it has in a lot of ways. And yeah, I always have these kind of moments where I'm being active that I do get that interest, which is good. It's just I really want to stay working hard and have it moving forward. Hopefully my fucking parents and relatives see that one day. I can pull up in something kind of nice, 4-wheel drive, some tint on it, you know, afford you know, a nice place one day or whatever. You know, would I be okay if that's not the case? Sure.
Yeah.
Because I'll have the fucking sickest cough and I'll paint it myself.
Real shit. One of one.
One of one. Bury it, son. Yeah. No, maybe with a skylight.
Yeah. Just ice that out, man.
Fuck, who knows?
I like that you brought that up too, man. I was watching a clip. Akon was saying that yesterday, where it's like, man, if you're a musician or artist, whatever, it's okay to have a job too, because you have bills to pay. Like,
fuck Toronto. I've never. Expensive. Everyone, if you don't have a side gig in Toronto, you're really not living yet. Like, I can't leave the fucking house without dropping $100. It used to be $50.
Yo, fucking used to be $50, man.
But yeah, I know it's ridiculous. Even at the grocery store, it's like so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you a snifter, bud.
Let's do it.
No, but it's
just to feel it.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. And like, you're in the city, you want to go do stuff. You want to go have a drink. You want to go have fun. And like, I don't know how these kids that are younger are doing it. Like, they gotta have fucking help. But do that side hustle, do that third hustle, do all that shit. Do passive income, work your fucking tail off, because that's, if you're in the city, that's what it's about.
No, yeah, and that's real, bro. And that's how I see it too, where it's like, fuck, we spent enough time locked up, man. I want to go out. Like, everyone's itching. Can't feel bad for you. Want to enjoy yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Cheers, homie.
Let's get it. No, that's real, bro. Very expensive city. That's a fact.
But hey, not the most expensive.
No, my boy MWorks was just in here, and he's done some awesome videos in the city for some real big names, and he straight up said, he's like, yo, we talk shit about Toronto, but if you think about it, only like LA and New York are bigger, really. Like,
yeah, when it comes to North America, sans fucking Mexico City.
Yeah.
It's the most. And it had like the most cranes or something, because look at all downtown. Like, I can't, if I leave for a weekend, there's 3 new fucking buildings across the street. Like, it really is flipping and rotating, and that's cool. Like, there's growth here. But again, it's like, man, are you kicking out the people that have lived in these neighborhoods their whole life?
Who's buying this shit?
I don't know, man. I think it's like, it's like foreign investors coming, and that's legit. Like, that happened in Vancouver, that happens here.
Yeah.
The government tried to stop that. It's fucking whatever. The shame of it is a lot of these condos and a lot of these apartments are sitting empty. Exactly. Because it's an investment. It's more of a headache to deal with a fucking tenant than it is just to hold on to it for 2 years for these billionaires, right?
Flip that shit.
So, but to me, again, that fucks with the community. Because, like, that's not now a representation of your community. There's just empty boxes in the fucking sky.
It's true, bro. I agree. I'd like to be, like, on the positive side of shit, but that's one thing that I'm nervous about, of how people are going to survive their businesses and shit like that, man.
Yeah.
It's just so expensive.
I don't know.
It's just so expensive.
It's definitely going to be trying. And, like, even, like, okay, so when fucking Ukraine started, that war had started, there was, or even coming out of the pandemic, there was supply chain issues. There was a lot of that shit.
Huge.
But Now they're starting to get a hold of it. They're starting to kind of wrangle it in. It's starting to kind of come back to life. And the inflation is still the fucking inflation. This price, they're not going to go down from $5 a fucking loaf of bread. They're going to stay there, right? That's kind of the rule. And now these companies and grocery stores and across the board, whatever it is, supply chain issue, it's like, this is now the price. The price is the price is the price. Shout out to my homie, the price is the price is the price. Nuts.
Love that.
Instagram
I
handle.
gotta check him out.
Yeah.
He graffiti artist?
Yeah, good dude. Yeah.
No, you're right though, bro. Fuck. It's gonna cost you arm and a leg, man. You're
you
paying
know what?
up
It's
the ass.
living scenarios. It's living scenarios. Like rent is like $1,500, $2,500, $3,500. Like, it's if you talk to anybody in fucking New York, these guys, they'll split a 1-bedroom apartment 5 ways, and they all pay $1,000 a month.
No exaggeration. Like real shit.
Like
that's $5,000.
Man, I can barely live with one roommate, and I've done it. And it's like we've had a whole different ends of the fucking house. I could not having bunk beds and one guy on the couch and another. Like, fuck that noise, bro. You have to live on the streets. But then if like you're living out there and you're going and like partying or working, it's like then it costs another $100 to be out. So it's like what's the fucking, I don't know.
It's hard, bro.
It's definitely new craziness.
It's new craziness. And again, there's two sides where it's like, okay, it is how it is. Let's get it. But also, we do have to agree, like, it's fucked. It's fucking nuts.
Like, well, back fucking in the 50s, it was like you could buy a car for $3,000. Whatever. We can talk about that for days. But it really is. It's like from houses. Even when I was in high school, it was like houses for $300,000,
reasonable.
400, $500,000 was like, oh, that's a nice home. Now it's like 1.2. You're talking about, I guess, 20 years, but like, holy fuck, double?
For a shithole.
Double? I know. And like, even these condos, some of them, it's like a fucking triangle, right? So half of your square footage is unusable, except for a fucking cat tower you have against those windows.
For sure, bro.
But like, yeah, and that's 1.2, 1.3. It's, I don't know. It's kind of, I don't know if that's the MO, that's what they want.
I don't know. I don't know who it's good for other than the builders. Like,
but it's not even just the city. It'd be one thing if it was just the city.
It's
the
universal.
It's the whole fucking province. It's like you want to go anywhere if you want to own any piece of land. It's like good fucking luck,
bro. Just for fun, I don't know. Do you fuck with Reddit?
Yeah, somewhat.
Just for fun, I'll go on like different cities have their own Reddit or whatever.
Yeah,
and I'll go on random like Phoenix, Arizona, and all the shit will be about it's getting so expensive out here, it's ridiculous. Like
it's almost like it's fucking
everywhere.
Planned.
It's real shit, man.
Like, oh, there's no land anywhere.
What the fuck?
Food anywhere? Well, you know, my parents fucked off to Mexico. And like they fucking love it. No, well, they got a property there.
Oh, sick.
And they made it look nice. You know, they're trying to get me down there and do a few murals, whatever.
Ooh.
Which is nice of them. But like, they're like, oh, the food, fucking fantastic. You know, it's fucking. And my brother was like, so cheap. Like I had a great time. Like I was fucking smoking cohibas and like the beers were like 15 pesos or 4 pesos, some bullshit, right? It was just like insane. Like the quality of living, you know, I feel is like, or the price is a little bit better. I don't know if the rest of the world's got there. I don't know what the story is.
I don't either, man.
But it's very much across the board on this fucking northern hemisphere or any of these developed areas. Sydney, whatever, it's just like so fucking expensive.
It's true.
I don't know how kids are supposed to establish themselves or get married.
I don't know. I think the two options are you just work as much as possible or you're in debt up your ass till you die.
It's probably both, because if you go for the schooling route and you can slide into an office job, you're $1 million in debt. You know, and it is what it is, and I guess it is, and it's like what I was saying before, is just fucking keep working. Because the fact is, the matter is, like, there are more people now. There are more people, and there are more hungry people coming all over from all over everywhere, all fucking directions. And it's like, hey man, set up where you want to set up, and work your fucking ass off, whatever that is, and then hopefully have a passion on the side, and strive on that.
Build.
Yeah, fucking keep building. And hopefully surround yourself with like-minded people.
Yes.
That's harder than it seems. It's definitely harder than it's said.
It is. But I got to shout out. We hate on social media a lot, but I got to shout out social media for this. it's made it easy for me to find someone like yourself and other people where I think we do have a lot of shit in common.
Yeah.
And it might have been very tough for us to link up. But,
yeah, absolutely. You're 100% about that.
There's always these moments.
Yeah.
Which is like, maybe that's just design. Like, I like that, and I appreciate that, right? You can't, it definitely goes both ways.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Who knows? You ever see yourself leaving the city?
Man, I'm a military brat. I don't give a shit.
Go.
Like I have this itch every 4 years, 5 years. But like this city has like got my attention because there's so much going on, and there's so much opportunity. You know, like there's so much like different things I could be doing, which is great. Like, and there's so many rad people that I love meeting and interacting with. You know, but I wouldn't be opposed to like venturing out and seeing wherever anything else is going on. Like I always wanted to do. Like I have that robot painting that I've done in front of Toronto.
Love that, by the way.
And like one of my favorite pieces. I did that like 2015.
Amazing.
And I want to do a bunch of other cities, but like I did with graffiti or anything else, it's like I want to go there and I want to like post up for a couple months and get the lay of the land and kind of understand the city and then paint it. Like, I don't want to just look at a post. I could very well, you know?
More of a portrait.
It really is. And, like, I kind of... Everything I did in that painting, it's like... these certain buildings or certain areas that are important to me when I think of the city and I look at it a certain direction. But it's all kind of from here.
Yeah.
Right? It's not a fucking exact. And it's got a whole vibe with these colors and energy and shit like that, like... If I go to New York, if I go to LA, or go to like Melbourne or you know, Tokyo, any of these things, still it would look dope to have this huge robot coming and crushing that city.
Unreal.
But like, I want to get a sense of it. I want to do it justice, right? I don't want to just be that guy that like.
You want to know what streets.
Yeah,
you're on. You want
like
to know what culture
the vibe.
it is.
Yeah, and like the people there, the community there, something or certain buildings that stand out to me, and like do that. Like that's, I guess that's a lot to ask. But I think it's like, I think it's kind of, I want to be true. I want to be authentic about shit, hopefully.
I completely get it, bro.
Yeah.
I'm that way. When I go to a new city, I want to wander the streets, bro.
Yeah, I want to do what the locals are doing. I don't want to go fucking look at the Statue of Liberty from 800 feet. Fuck that noise. I want to go to like the underground skeezy after hours.
Same.
Where someone's doing blow off a pool table. Whatever it is. I don't really care. It's just like fun.
Yes.
I want to do what homies are doing.
Big facts.
Yeah.
100% agree with you on that. I don't need to go to Times Square, bro. Fuck that. Let's go
I
else.
fucking did that, man. It smelled like shit. There was like a corner that was all pissed. It was like,
I was
get
just
it.
there in July with my buddy. I had been there before. My buddy had it, and he's like, bro, we got to see Times Square. I'm like, for sure. Let's go.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm like, and we went, and it was funny. All I kept thinking of was, anyone who lives in New York, there's no reason for them to be here.
Yeah,
there's nothing there for them. There's no grocery store there. There's no work there. Like, it's all fucking Toys R Us and whatever, all that shit. It was just so funny.
Yeah,
man.
It's all these like little corporate fucking staples. It's like, you know, it's for Vanilla Sky just to fucking rent out for one night. Like,
just come take a picture
and go. Yeah, get the fuck out of there, man. Go do something fun.
Exactly, man. That's fucking hilarious. Yo, TAKEOTENN. What does that mean, bro? I want to ask you that.
Well, there's a whole story like behind. Like, so I was saying before, my homie Zeus Warner gave me the name Take out of the gate, like when I was like 24 or whatever. And then there was another dude writing Take 5, and so that wasn't cool to like jump on this guy's shit. Right. But I put an O on it, and it just had this more balance. And I love the fucking letters, like TAKEO, like all those letters are dope. And it's just stuck, like, you know. And it means like warrior in Japanese. There's a city out in Japan that's named Takeo. And I don't know, it's just, people will say Takeo, Takeo, whatever it is.
I first thought Takeo.
Yeah, people, I don't really give a shit. People, half the time people think I may or may not be Japanese. Clearly not. You know, white dude here.
Hey, we don't know though.
No, you can probably tell. But you know, it's just been, I don't know. Those letters work for me now, and they're now imprinted in my fucking brain. And those letters are tight in graffiti. Like,
I fuck with it.
Yeah.
If anyone could see the name, they're right here.
Yeah, bottom left.
Takeo.
And that.
My guy right here.
Yeah, that's for the wall, buddy. Put that one up.
That's Reggiano.
No, so Reggiano Parmigiano, that's a cat. That's Garfield.
cat.
That's Garfield's Italian cousin.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out the Italian homie, man.
Yeah. Well, all my homies were Italian in high school. You know. Shout out Barry.
Gang.
Yeah, that was fucking dope. I get along with those people. Family, food, respect. Come on.
Yes, sir.
And I was fucking like loved Garfield. I actually used to draw him a lot as a kid. And then I did the cat, which is like just right here. If you want to see, I threw it on me. Threw it on me because it was so hot.
Permanent, man.
Permanent Parmesan Reggiano. I say
hard.
that.
That's
I don't know
hard.
if you can see it, but he's got the spikes on him.
Yeah, that's
So he's got a
fire.
little style. That's why he's Italian. So,
Love that.
A little dippity do or some
Love
bullshit.
that.
So, but no, and that's T Wolf. So yeah, I got a fucking bunch, and I got the robot, which is 10. I named him 10.
Ah, okay.
Because it's about binary with him, right? It's about binary code, and on that one painting, it's got the binary code for YYZ on it. On his chest.
Yep.
And so I like kind of slipping in things like that. So like you'll see my paintings and you'll see it and then you'll live with it and then you'll see it again and then you'll see it at midnight and you'll see it at 6 a.m. and you'll start seeing these different things in it. Like I want you to keep kind of living with it. My stuff's definitely more sculptural. It's more like alive. There's glosses, there's different metallics, there's little things etched into it. I really do kind of paint for myself.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, is like, you know, I paint things like if I was the consumer or, you know, because I end up fucking hanging on to a lot of my work because I like it. I don't know. Fuck, sue me.
Love that.
So yeah, this is T Wolf. This is his like minty,
That's
minty
the
green
Miami Wolf.
Miami minty 80s dish.
Yes, sir.
And actually, this is all blue. Dark
No
blue.
way.
It's not black. It's dark blue.
You could see it on the side.
Yeah, so there's like, yeah, so that's like the bluish, but this is like this really, really dark blue. That's kind of one of my tricks is like, and it's been an art trick, a fine art trick is like they'll always add a color to absolute blacks to warm it up or cool it down, depending.
Smart.
So when you see it on camera, it'll look a little or it'll pop a little different. So I started kind of applying these tactics to my graffiti where I won't use absolute black. I'll use like this really, really dark blue or really, really dark red or really, really dark green, depending on what my fill is. And it'll just hit a little different. Like even on my, even on that Wallnoize one, like I did this fill that was all like my abstract fill. Even though it was straight letter thing with my characters, and there's some pieces there that are just insane, like they're all ripping arrows and fucking everything.
Yeah.
My stuff still made an impact because like the colors were really vibrant, and against a blue background, this bright orange piece with like these white fucking outlines.
That's sick.
Yeah, like it still popped, and that's kind of what I'm going for is like using that color theory to hopefully fucking get noticed and more point across.
It works, bro.
Yeah,
I've seen it with my own eyes. That mural is unreal, man. Go check. That's Ashbridge's Bay.
Yeah, Ashbridge's Bay
Go to
by off
Ashbridge's
Lakeshore.
Bay. Go check that out. Beautiful, man. Other artists too.
Huge project put on my Cruz one of Wallnoize.
Amazing.
Always gets the community involved. That dude, like, he's about the community. He's about representing graffiti artists and street artists, whoever, in his work. Like, you know, he could keep using the same 10 guys or 12 guys, and he doesn't. He always throws out people. He wants to give people a chance, you know, and he's OG, bro. Like, he's so respected. He's so talented. Homie's got a tattoo shop, Southside Ink. Tattoo out in
No way.
Yeah.
That's his shop.
That's his stop.
Bro, I went to school at Humber Lakeshore, man.
Oh, yeah?
I passed that shop all the time.
Yeah, right by the fucking the LC, like down the road from the LCBO. Yeah, man.
By the fish and chip spot.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the.
No fucking
I was
way.
going to that bar quite regularly. Like last year, whatever, just because he was there and he was my
No
homie.
way.
And be going to that spot. Yeah, no, he's so dope, and he's like. He's about respect, and he's about like putting in work. Like he wants to give people that put in work a chance, right?
Shout out to Cruz, man.
Yeah,
Real
Cruz
one.
won, man. He's fucking sick.
Shout out Southside Inc. Small world.
Yeah, totally, man. Totally.
Small world, man.
It's fucking wild. Some of the shit that you end up like linking between, and Like that's, and all in all, like the city, and I've heard it once or twice before. It's like people will say, "Oh, it's a big city." That is, you can literally walk the city in, you know, I think like an hour or something. Like it's, or like an hour and a half. You know, maybe two if you're me. Yeah. But like, but like it's like it really is a small community, and Toronto is very cliquey. Yeah. But it's changing because there's a lot of new people coming in. But it used to be like, hey, you're grown here, you're born here, this is our side, which I get. But for me, as a military brat, like I always had to fucking come in, crack jokes, or fucking fight somebody, or whatever it was to like make that connection.
Yeah.
Earn and
the stripes.
Yeah, and that's cool. But like, I don't know. It's all been good. Like, and the city is smaller than you think when it comes to that. Like, when you're talking about people that are good at their craft, and there's other people in that, and they will know it. Tattooing, chef, like all this, the food industry. Like, there's a lot of little chefs out there that like, and I've worked for a couple that, you know, they're getting international acclaim or they're doing this, but they all kind of know each other. They all know each other's work, right? Same with music, same with like acting. Like, they're all gonna end up knowing somebody.
100%, and as you're right too. If the quality's there, then you'll know about it.
Yeah, or if you're like really, quality's there, and if you're niche enough, or you're really staying true to what you do. Yeah, that stands out.
It stands out, absolutely, bro. I love it, man. Takeo, fucking awesome conversation. We're coming up on about an hour.
Holy shit.
Flies by, right? Yeah, when you're having fun. There we go. I want to give you a chance to like promote anything you got going on. You want to talk about your social media stuff. Floor is yours, bro.
Shit, check me out at TAKEOTENN, TENN, on Instagram. I also have my fine art page, Miller Original Art.
A lot of fire on there.
There's a lot. It's more kind of high-end shit, I guess, or classic art. It's all good. Yeah, you can figure out my last name's Miller, but what's my first? You'll never know. There's a million of us as well. English, Irish, Scottish. Yeah, man. Other than that, like things coming in the works. Like I really want to try and start building my clothing brand a little bit back up. Like that's been fun, and we'll go from there. So just keep your fucking eyes peeled, everyone.
Eyes open, eyes peeled. Out here, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Yes,
fucking
buddy.
Awesome conversation.
Yes, thank you, man.
Thank you again for this painting, bro.
Buddy, I need to see that on the wall for the next interview that you do.
Be on the wall. I hope so. ASAP.
Love it.
Oh man, TAKEOTENN, Toronto legend, versatile vigilante. Keep your eyes open.
VV.
Follow, like, subscribe. VV. I think a vigilante Takeo collab needs to happen.
Oh, that can happen. That can fucking happen.
I think that would make a lot of sense.
Buddy, we'll make that happen.
Nice hoodie or some shit.
Okay.
Let's get it, man. But yo, I appreciate you, bro. Like, subscribe, follow, all that shit. Go check out some. What's your favorite?
Chocolate chip mint.
Chocolate chip mint. What's your favorite? What if someone were to check out a Takeo graffiti? Where should they go?
Oh, yo, we just did this one piece off Cecil Street for Wallnoize.
Okay.
I did a couple fucking fat alley cats, which are pretty dope.
Cecil Street.
Yeah, Cecil Street up behind the Hydro building. Go check that out.
Fire.
Don't cross me. Love you.
Let's get it, man. We're out here. Fire, bro.